Well, we've got more news, I guess, to continue to talk about here since we got through a whole bunch in the first segment.
Yes, there is more changes happening. But before we go, we were just talking on the break about the newest store in downtown One-Way Mission called Cameron James Menwear.
Yeah, it's in the Junction, actually. It's
the Junction, that's right.
My friend Ken McCoy, it's his stepson, and he started this business, and it looks like, I haven't had a chance to get in there yet, but it looks like it's got really good stuff. And
Yeah, and his history and what he knows and what I see in the social media posts of what's in there. When I can't wait to go shopping there for every man I know.
Yeah, I mean, Ken McCoy, he's a good buddy of mine. I've known him for years. He's a great musician, great singer. Don't tell him I said that. But he had some pictures up of trying on a suit jacket and a couple things in the store. And, I mean, they made Ken look good. And if they can make Ken look good, they can do some seriously good stuff for people. I hope Ken's listening.
It's fantastic because there's so many unique clothes in there that I see. I can't wait to go.
Yeah.
How big is the store? Have you been in it?
I haven't been in it yet, but I need to go too because, well, for one thing, I need some new clothes, and it looks like they got some. I mean, my dress clothes are getting a little beat up and battered, and I don't wear them very often either. So I will probably head in there myself and go hang out and see what they got.
I think it's a good place this year to buy something for the man in your life, or the men in your life. Yeah. I can't wait to see it. I love new places and with local. Like it's not a chain. It's not somebody who came in from out of town.
No.
Actually, it's a local, which is awesome to support them.
I'm pretty sure your husband's looking for a new guitar though for Christmas.
Maybe a shirt with guitars on it.
Well, if he doesn't get a guitar, he's going to want to get a new car, like for the collection. So the guitar, in theory, should be cheaper.
Yes, you're right. I see how your brain's working here.
Yes,
trying to. Pawn off a guitar, are you?
I'm just saying. I mean, that seems like the cheaper of the possibilities.
Well, when you can find a 12-string Rickenbacker, let me know, because that's what he wants.
I'm sure I can find you one, but those are not going to be cheap. Especially, he wants a vintage one, doesn't he?
You know what? Probably
he
knowing
wants like
him.
a 67, or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll have Dylan keep an eye. Dylan wants one too, so I have the same thing going on in my house. My kid wants one. So
Dylan's good at research.
Yeah, your kid wants one and my kid wants one. There you go.
Okay, so the next rule that we're going to talk about is, did you know about Canada's new anti-flipping tax?
No, I didn't really know anything about that. I read like a headline somewhere about it, but I, for whatever reason, didn't read the article.
Yeah, well, usually it's the builders who can't flip within the first year of building because, builder homeowner, they think, oh, it's a business. But now they're changing it. So the housing market in Canada has skyrocketed, as we all know, over the last few years, and in an attempt to cool it off. That's what part of the government's action plans. So the federal government is implementing. It's called an anti-flipping measure. This means that Canadians selling a home or rental residential property that they've held for less than 12 months will be considered flipping, and consequently, the profits from the sale will be considered business income. So this forms a significant change where taxpayers used to be able to sell homes quickly, claiming capital gains and or the principal residence exemption. New anti-flipping rules. The anti-flipping measure will apply to residential properties sold on or after January. So that's one of those new rules. I just had somebody inquire about one of my properties that needs some TLC, and it would be a great flipping property. But I warned them, just so you know, you're not going to be able to flip it for 12 months once you purchase it. So the new measure was announced in the federal budget, released in April. So in the document, the federal government attributes the high housing prices partly to property flipping, buying a house and selling it within a short period of time. And yes, that did absolutely happen. Many people were buying homes, and then of course they were going up $100,000, $200,000 in a month or two, and they were like, well, let's just sell it. So yes, it was happening, but it's not the norm. That was the first time we've ever been through that type of market, but they are making this new rule. So yes, so generally when an individual sells a property, the profits from the sale are considered capital gains, and thus only 50% of the gains from the sale are taxed. Additionally, there's a principal residence exemption for individuals selling their primary residence. However, profits from flipping properties are fully taxed and not eligible for either capital gains inclusion or the principal residence exemption. So something to keep in mind. It doesn't matter if it's your principal residence or not. Currently, the categories to proceed of the sales of residential property as business income, the Canadian Revenue Agency, the CRA, needs to show that the taxpayer intends to flip the property in the pursuit of profit. However, the proposed anti-flipping measure eliminates the CRA's burden to prove this intention. So these are the exemptions to the new anti-flipping rules. There are exemptions, and so we need to know about them. So if you have a home within 12 months due to certain life circumstances, of course, that is not it's out of your control. The government says that would be an exemption, and they also, where the property being sold is because of that certain change in circumstances, the sale would not automatically result in business income. A non-exhaustive list is as follows, and here it is. Changes in life circumstances, of course, as births of children, of course. You have children, you need a new property for that, a new job, you're moving for that, a divorce, of course, a death, obviously, disability, or other circumstances not yet known. So the new legislation may or may not contain a detailed list. Where any of the above apply, it would be a question of fact as to whether the property sale resulted in business income, a capital gain, or a capital gain that was eligible for the principal residence exemption. This question of fact will be reviewed by an auditor in a property sale audit. These have been going on for years, and because of the exemptions provided, they will likely continue for many more years to come. So, so that's the change. It's not just builders now that can't flip within a year. It's all of us, unless, of course.
If I kick a kid out, downsize, and then live there for a year, flip it, bring the kid back, buy a bigger house, I could just keep going back and forth.
You know what? There's always ways around things.
I'm just saying. I mean, I don't know which one of the kids I'm kicking out at any given time. Probably Cody.
Well, you have a few, so you can do this for a while.
Well, I can't kick Cassidy out. She's only 16. But
that's
the other two are fair game.
Well, I don't know. Some people have kicked their kids out, but she's a good kid. There's no
sure she is.
Okay, so the next rule that's actually changing is the rescission period for buyers. Now, we've talked about this before, but wanted to remind that buyers can rescind their commitment to purchase within 3 days in writing to the seller, not their realtor, mind you. This is not between the realtors and the parties. It's between the buyer and seller. So in the contracts, and there's all new contracts happening on the 1st of January to be used for certain clauses and changes to be implemented regarding all these changes and rules. So yes, they have to let the seller know in writing within the 3 days after they've committed to purchase. And that, though, will come with a penalty of 0.25%. So that's 0.25% of the purchase price, and they will owe that to the seller should they rescind their commitment. That is, of course, if there's no subjects. So if there's your regular, the whole purpose of this rescission period was to help buyers be able to make a very wise decision in their purchase so that they have due diligence. They have time to do that and to know what they're purchasing and not just jump into something with no subjects because there's multiple offers. So there is the rare multiple offers still happening, yes. And so that's what that's all about. And when we're moving forward with that, talking about sometimes there's still multiple offers happening right now, we're going to talk about the Canadian housing market conditions expected in 2023. RE/MAX National has come out with this big report. They do quarterly reports. They do the annual report. This is the annual report, and they have fully come out with some things that expectations. The shift in 2023. So 60% of Canadian housing market is anticipated to balance in 2023. That's all of Canada. According to a Ledger survey commissioned by RE/MAX as part of the report, Canadians view home ownership as the best long-term investment they can make, and that's 73% of Canadians. Yet the majority, which is 67%, are feeling less optimistic in the short term, with 67% less inclined to buy in the first half. So 62% is less inclined to sell in that time frame. Now, this is their report. Now, this is Canada. And we are in the Fraser Valley, the beautiful Fraser Valley. In our area, I and many others in the business believe that there's going to be an onslaught of buyers, like more buyers to the market, especially first-time home buyers and move-up buyers who actually now they can afford. The prices have come down. They're really the biggest thing. Yes, prices have come down, but they're not competing with other buyers.
Right.
It was all the frustration and the sadness and the emotional and the tears that happened when they kept on missing out on 30 homes they tried for and not being able to have subjects and all that. So that has changed.
Having 42 offers to go through.
Can you imagine?
Well, I remember the one house we put an offer in. I think you said there was 23 offers or something.
It's true. It was really busy during that time.
The amazing thing is we weren't that far off on the price and everything either, but it blew me away that they'd had that many offers.
Yeah, I don't know what the highest in our area of how many offers on the same house. That would be a great survey to do.
Yeah,
how many offers on the same property?
We had 7 or 8 on ours, I believe.
Yeah. But yeah, so finally, it's a really good balanced market. It's good for buyers. They're not competing like they used to. The prices have gone down. It's good for sellers because now they're buyers as well, and it's more balanced. It's there's less risk in today's type of market as well for everyone. So it's good to see the majority of markets moving toward more balanced conditions, and that's throughout Canada, which is typically defined by 45 to 90 days on the market. So I know it was like yesterday I could have sold the house, not just within an hour, that kind of thing. But now it's 45 to 90 days, which seems like a long time for people who were in the market for the last few years, but it's normal. So this is a much needed adjustment from it was unsustainable before. So the price increases that we had in the early part of 2022, many Canadians have understandably expressed hesitancy about engaging in real estate market in later half of 2023. They're actually thinking of going into it beginning and mid 2023. So I see the market is in our area actually doing pretty good. So that's the part of the Canadian stats. Now, we're confident that as the economic conditions improve and the market continues to even go in the third quarter, then the fourth quarter of 2023, a more regular pace of activity will resume. And I'm going to specifically mention the Greater Vancouver area in this report. So the Greater Vancouver area is very balanced, and as I said, the move up and the first time home buyers are gonna, I believe, gravitate to finally making that purchase decision, And this is, okay, single detached homes remain the dominant housing type in the area, with the upsizing trend expected to become increasingly popular among families in 2023. Desirable neighborhoods in the city are currently based on location, with access to rapid transit playing a large part in purchasing decisions. And a continued drop in condo pricing is expected actually in 2023 in the more city areas of the Vancouver and the Fraser Valley. It's going to pretty much balance out, while the luxury market is anticipated to have a slow start to the year before balancing out in the later half of 2023. The average residential sale price in the Greater Vancouver area is anticipated to decrease by 5% next year and decrease 20% in sales. So price decrease of 5% anticipated, and sales by less than 20%. So that is just a snippet of the report from REMAX for 2023 real estate market in Canada, and specifically the Greater Vancouver area. Now, new listings. I know we got to go, and this has been so fantastic again. I love meeting with you weekly, Curtis, especially in the studio. It's so fun. And so I'm just going to leave with one listing of mine, mentioning because it's going to auction. I've got a couple commercial properties going to auction in January. So starting January 9th, I have one.
All right.
And mid-January, another. So keep an eye out because that's really exciting. And they're really great properties, and it's going to be a fun auction process. So if you are interested in having your commercial property or residential property go to auction and you're curious about it, give me a call anytime. Just Google my name, and you'll find my cell phone.
Michele, 1L, no G. Mm-hmm. We haven't had to say that for a while, actually.
Michele with 1L and Cummins like the diesel engine.
Right.
Nice and strong.
That's right.
No G.
Just a little subtle reminder there.
And the quote of the week. Troubles in keep this in mind. Okay. Troubles in life. We all have troubles in life. But a smooth sea never made a skilled sailor.
True. Most of my troubles happen between 8 and 8:30 on Saturday mornings.
Very funny.
If people want more information about what you do as a realtor, and of course all your listings and auctions and all that fun stuff, where can they go?
Michele Winnell, CumminsNOG.ca.
And join us again next week when we will talk real estate in order to unlock your real estate potential on a show where real estate is maximized. Thanks for listening.